Hello, Bots and Books fans, this is Scorp1701, and tonight we are going to be taking a look at the Neca Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Pizza Monster. And the interesting thing about the Pizza Monster is it was one of the first figures that was offered from the Neca online shop for us here in the United States. Normally, all of the Toon Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles stuff from Neca is under exclusive sales from Target, and you couldn't get it anywhere but Target. However, the Pizza Monster here was the first figure that kind of did away with that. Now, I'm sure you'll still be able to find the Pizza Monster here at Target. So, taking a look at this huge box, you can see Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles here. You can see the Pizza Monster rising up out of the sewer to attack poor, unsuspecting Michelangelo, who's just sitting there with his pizza. You have another one bites the crust here on the box. You have Nickelodeon. You have a Neca logo here, which is very similar to the FHE logo that you'd get on the old VHS tapes. And on this side of the box again, Nickelodeon here, Neca, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, another one bites the crust, volume number 7. And on this side of the box, the exact same thing. And on the bottom of the box, you have some credits for the box and a barcode, which is always fun and good. And on the back of the box, you have a nice little read-up of where the Pizza Monster came from. And I will zoom that in just a little bit. You can pause the video, read it to your heart's content, but we must be moving on. All right, zooming out, you can also see some product shots on the back of the box and some nice animated drawings of our favorite characters and the little Pizza Monsters and Shredder and Baxter. And that is pretty much it for the back of the box. And now we will turn the box over because there is one more thing that we can see on this awesome box. And that is, if you turn it over, there is a panel right here. And if you open that up, you can actually see the huge Pizza Monster in there and a nice picture of it here on the left side. That is so cool. And you can see all the accessories it comes with, and that is neat. So, anyway, that is the box. No one wants to see this awesome Pizza Monster in the box. I know I don't. So let's get him out and see what he can do. And before we take a look at the figure, taking a look in the box that comes with this awesome little backdrop, you can see that it is a monitor, and you can see channel 6 there, and some control panel, and a couple other things on there, which is, you know, shots from the show. And, you know, it looks like maybe it's from the Technodrome or something. I'm not sure exactly where this would come from, but I won't be using this particular backdrop because I don't think it matches what we are looking for. However, I think I will reuse this awesome sewer drop here for the review. So anyway, just thought I'd share a quick view of the backdrop that it comes with. All right, moving on. And here we have the Pizza Monster out of the box. And out of the box, he stands at a whopping 8.5 inches tall. And some interesting measurements that we can get on this guy. His head, from his gruesome mouth to the back of his crown, is approximately 4 inches. And his tail, from his butt here to the very tip, is 5 inches. So this is a big mamba jamba. Roar. He is definitely a monster that the turtles will have to contend with. All right, he also comes with some accessories, but we'll take a look at those later. First off, I want to take a closer look, I think, at this huge monster. Roar. And coming real close in on the Pizza Monster, we can see he is very scary and angry. Angry! So yeah, we'll take a look at his head first, and this is very much a take on the alien xenomorphs that the Ninja Turtles were going for. I'm surprised I even got this thing greenlit to be sold because it's so similar to the alien creature, but hey, here it is, and we're reviewing it. So, starting with the head, it is nice and yellow. It is from the chin to the very end, 4 inches, and it has a lot of nice molded detail in there that you could really only see and be picked out by the tune lines right here, and then the white highlights, and that is pretty neat. On the top of his head, he seems to have some armor plating, and these are all molded in, and they're different, and you can see they all are grooved, so that is pretty cool. And when you look around the back, you can see that it continues with the NECA tradition of having their action figures lighter on one side and then darker on the other to kind of denote shadow. So that is a cool idea to carry on with the Pizza Monster. So you would have your bright yellow here moving over to this ugly mustard yellow, but that's okay. And you still, on the back, you got a lot of tune lines here, and again, some more ridges, so that make out some detail. Here's the back of his neck, very creepy. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Ahead of ourselves, because we gotta look at the front of the head. Okay, that's a bad joke. All right, so coming around the front of his head, you can see he has some evil dark black eyes, and those are scary, picked out. And he's got some highlights on his eyebrows picked out in black, again with the white, and then some more for the nose, black line coming down to his mouth. And these teeth are just ghastly. They're very sharp. You can look in there. So many teeth. I love how they designed that. And if you look into his mouth, you can see it's a nice dark red, and up at the top you even got a larynx in there, and you can see his tongue is nice and pink, and they did a little bit of line work on it, so that is cool. And that is pretty much it for his head. And then, yeah, his jaw does move up and down, but that's for articulation, and we'll get with that later. Coming down to his neck, it is nicely done. You have a lot of line work here, again, to denote veins and just different areas that need to be highlighted. He does have a bulge right here in his neck, so that would denote probably Adam's apple. So this is a boy monster. Rawr. And then the rest of him is going to be the same yellow. Let's zoom out just a little bit, because it would be a little easier to see this guy. And all of his ridges. So starting with his shoulders are very bony coming down. You do have a bit of a protrusion here at the elbow, I guess, and that's pretty neat. And then you come down to some more tune lines and some highlights to these big, huge honking hands. And the hands are huge, and they have like 4 claws, and their claws are picked out in white, so that is neat. Coming back to the middle of the chest, you just have some abs, and they are all molded in there, and they're kind of grooves. So, but they are picked out also with tune lines and some white highlights. Coming down to his waist, nothing there. Thankfully, he's not anatomically correct for a pizza monster. And then that will bring us down to his legs. And his legs, again, have some, like, panels here, I guess that would be armor. And they are all molded in, so it's pretty cool with ridges and decked out with some tune lines and some white highlights. And that will bring us down to his legs, or his lower legs. And his lower legs do again have some ridges here for some scales or armor plating, and you can see a little bit of fin work going on right below his knee. I don't know exactly what you would want to call that, but this was a creature that transformed in the water, so that would kind of indicate that he is aquatic, but I'm not really sure. It didn't really go into that much. He did pop out of the water. So that is really cool. His feet have 2 claws on each, and they are picked out sort of like the same as his hands. They're really cool. Coming to the back, you do have the same, and it's all in that mustardy color. His tail, we looked at a little bit at the beginning. It is 5 inches from the base to the tip, and it's pretty neat. You have some ridges here at the top of the tail, and then the bottom again you have picked out with some highlights and tune lines. So yeah, that is pretty much what this guy looks like. All right, moving on. And for our articulation, starting at the head. Now the head is on a joint, and it can go all the way around 360 degrees. It can kind of look left, it can kind of look right, it can look down, it can look up, and it helps that it's on this neck hinge, and the neck hinge can go all the way around as well, 360 degrees if you were so inclined. So that can give you a lot of motion out of this head. He can do a lot of cool stuff, left and right, wiggling up and down, and that is very cool. All right, let me get his neck back in order here. And like I said before, his mouth does open. It can go all the way down like that. And it can go up. So that is pretty cool. You can get a turtle in there and crunch them. So yeah, well, don't do that because that would be bad. All right, coming down to his shoulders. His shoulders are on a hinge, so they can go up a long way, and then they can go down a long way, and they can go all the way around 360 degrees. He does have a double hinged elbow, so that is cool. He got a lot of motion there. You wouldn't think of it because of the way he's designed, but yeah, they put a hinge here and they put a hinge there, so that is pretty cool. He does have a forearm articulation, goes all the way around 360 degrees, and coming down to his hand can go around 360 degrees, and it is on a hinge right here, so it can go up and down, and left and right, in and out. So that is pretty cool. Coming down to his ab section, or his midsection, he does have one point of articulation, and it is right here, and it can go all the way around 360 degrees if you're so inclined to get him to twist away like that, which, you know, he's an alien, he might be able to do that. But there it goes. It can kind of go up, it can kind of go forward, so left and right. It's a little bit of a, you know, wiggly waggly, so that is pretty cool, and you can do a lot of stuff with that. And that will bring us down to his legs. His legs can go up a long way, so you can get a lot of good range with that. Can't go back much because, again, the butt gets in the way, and that is pretty much standard with all figures. And if you want to, you can actually turn the leg all the way around 360 degrees. All right, that will bring us down to his knee bend. He does have a double hinged knee, which is cool, and I don't know really why you'd want to put it all the way up there, so, but you can. So bring that down. There is an articulation right here at the knee that will turn you around 360 degrees. So he does have kind of a boot cut. So that is pretty impressive. And basically when you come down to his foot, he just has a hinge right here, and it can go up and it can go down a little bit. Now, I don't think it can rock around. You might get a little bit of play on it, but don't. It doesn't feel very secure, so I would not try that. All right, so that is pretty much the basic articulation of this guy, and he does have a tail, and the tail is something that you have to put on out of the box, and you'll just snap that on, and it can wiggle around 360 degrees, and it can go up. And you can tear it off. We'll put that back on. I have been tearing my figures apart lately. I don't know, maybe I'm too rough with them. All right, but anyway, it can go up, it can go down, so, and you can get some rotation out of it, but at the end of the tail here, you also get a little bit of bendy, so it is cool. You can actually bend it to a little more than what you normally would, so I'm not sure how strong that is or how sturdy, but you know, it can go a little ways. You can see it in the promo picture, so that's how I knew it could be done. But I don't know, don't go too crazy with it because you don't want to break his tail or anything like that. But anyway, that is your Pizza Monster's articulation. Moving on. And for accessories, the first thing I want to take a look at is this little baby Pizza Monster. He's so cute. And he's basically just a little orange molded creature, and there's not much to him. And if you think he looks familiar, then you would be correct. in the fact that we got another one of these little pizza monster creatures from when we did the April and Foot Soldier review back in the day. Yay! So technically, there were supposed to be 3 of these from the episode The Case of the Killer Pizzas, and they started off as meatballs, and then you got them microwaved, and they turned into these guys, and then when they jump into water, they turn into the big honkin' mama that we've been looking at all review. So yeah, these are pretty cool, and if you really want to reenact that episode, you'll need 3 of these guys. But anyway, I'm not going to tell you. I think 1 is enough, and I already got an extra mini pizza monster. But anyway, that is the little mini pizza monster guy. Rawr, they're so cute. All right, moving on. And for our next accessory, we have this UFO Pizza Box. Now, that was the name of the company that made the deluxe pizzas that Baxter Stockman put the Pizza Monster meatballs on top of. And basically, this is just a yellow plastic box. You have UFO, you have a pizza with wings there, and it has a couple sides and hinges. And yes, as a matter of fact, it does, in fact, open. And yeah, that's sad. There's no pizza inside, but we can fix that because the Pizza Monster also came with this yummy looking pizza, and it's this solid piece, and it's broken up just about 8 pieces of pizza, and you can see it's got some nice designs on there for some meatballs and pepperoni and green things, and I don't know what all, but yeah, I'm sure the turtles will appreciate getting one of these, and it does actually fit inside the box, and you can close the lid, and there you go. You have a pizza ready to be delivered to our favorite Ninja Turtles. Yum! Now, the only thing that we can't do is, in the episode, the Pizza Monster got microwaved in there, and then he ate the pizza, and then when they opened up the box, there he was. I mean, he won't fit in there with the lid closed, so that's about as good as you're gonna get. But you don't have to be exact with these little things. It's, there he is. So that is cool. All right, moving on. And for the last accessory, we have the Pizza Monster control panel. And this is basically what Shredder created to control the Pizza Monsters, or Baxter created, one of them created it, and they used it and could use the buttons and tell the Pizza Monsters what to do. And it's pretty neat. It's got a nice little monitor there, a couple buttons, a nice red switch, another little switch here, sides, a lot of good detail in this little red button at the top. You got even some wires coming off, the blue wires, and some control chips and panels, and a little black wire here coming to the side, and another wire coming from the bottom here. So yeah, this thing is very detailed for something so little, and you can have somebody hold it. It's probably going to be a Ninja Turtle or Shredder or something, and it will try to control the Pizza Monster, but I don't know how successful they'll be. Anyway, that is what this thing is. All right, moving on. And for comparison, here you have the Turtles, Shredder, and April all trying to take on the hideous, huge Pizza Monster. And I don't know if they're going to do too well, but you know, they did, and they eventually defeated it. So you can actually see the scale of it. It is huge, even compared to normal human-sized characters like Shredder and April. So that is pretty neat. All right, moving on. And this has been the Neca Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Pizza Monster. One of the first figures that you could actually order from the Neca store if you lived in the United States. Now, you can probably still get this thing at Targets when it comes out, and I'm thinking it will probably be around $35, $40 because it's a deluxe figure and it's in the big box. And if you like the episode, The Case of the Killer Pizzas, where these things debuted, you'll probably want to pick it up. Or maybe even 3 of them. Now, I think one of the stipulations on the NECA online store was you could only get 2, which pretty much annoyed a lot of people since there were 3 in the episode. But, you know, I think 1's going to be good enough for me. The figure is huge, it's massive, it's very articulate for such a huge figure. I love the way it looks. I love its presence. It's all scary and brrr. And He does have a little bit of a chipping problem. There is some yellow paint all over the mat of my display area, but that's to be expected. Neca does a really good job on the paint, and they even do the joints, so when you start moving around, you're gonna get some paint flecks. So that's what that is. So yeah, that's pretty much this guy. I hope you enjoyed the review, guys, and until next time, keep playing.